Is it selfish to set boundaries? And the answer is no. The answer is quite the reverse. And if you're not very clear about this in your head, you will not be able to set the boundaries that will allow you to give of yourself to people in your life. On this channel, I define boundaries as a budget for your emotional and spiritual energy. And you get to allocate that energy toward the values that you think deeply about, that you care deeply about. And so when you sit down and figure out, how do I want to spend my time and my energy, there are probably a lot of people who come to mind that you care about, that you want to invest in, that you want to foster healthy relationships with. And there are probably also causes that you really care about, that you want to do active things to make those causes better in the world. Am I right? Like, you have these things that are on your heart. When you learn to set boundaries well, you're going to maximize the energy that you spend doing the good things that you're trying to do. All of those things are going to depend on you setting good boundaries. Because if you don't set good boundaries, what's going to happen is people who are needy, people who are used to manipulating others, will come in and suck up your emotional and spiritual energy, and they'll use it for their own purposes. And the more you have to give from your heart, the more people are going to want to come in and take what you have to serve their own needs. So there's a proportionality between your effectiveness in the world and your need to set boundaries. And you're trying to develop your effectiveness at addressing causes, at being part of important communities, at being in relationships that you find meaningful and valuable. All of those wonderful things. The better job you do at those things, the more people are going to want to come in and take what you have to give. Brené Brown, who is a social work professor, says that the most compassionate people she's met are also the most boundaried. And this is the reason. It's because they're developing their ability to give compassion. And that means that's going to increase the demand for their compassion. And to make sure that that demand goes toward the people and causes that they have chosen, that they have thought carefully about and care deeply about, they need to protect that energy from other forces that are going to want to hijack it. And you need to be really clear about this in your head before you set boundaries, right? Because the people who want to manipulate you, which might be wonderful people, they just want more of you, those people are going to make accusations against you when you set boundaries against behaviors that are destructive, right? And one of the accusations they'll make, almost certainly if you're setting boundaries with them, is that you're being selfish. And if you believe that lie for even a minute, then they're going to manipulate you more. You have to be really grounded that actually this is not a selfish thing. This is the most essential thing I have in my toolbox if I want to give of myself to other people, including the relationship with the person who's trying to manipulate you. That's just how it works. So if you want to live this out, this is my recommendation. Sit down and think through your spiritual and emotional energy. What are the people and the causes and the communities and the relationships that you want to invest that spiritual and emotional energy in? And reflect on how important each of those people and causes is to you. And get really grounded in the fact that it's so important to you that you invest in these people and these causes, that you are willing to set boundaries around people who come in and suck up your emotional and spiritual energy. You're committed to being aware of when that's happening. You're committed to stopping that from happening so that you have more of yourself to invest. So setting boundaries, it's not only not selfish, it is the opposite of selfish.